Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this reality chat. I wanted to talk for a moment because, listen, guys, I couldn't take it when I watched this most recent episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I saw Latisha having a conversation with Marsau. First, I want to preface it by the fact that I'm not going to say that Latisha herself copied and pasted content from Stormi's website, but I do believe that she definitely had something to do with the information being copied and being sloppily edited so that the email address was for Canvas Beauty brand and not Maciandmila. You know what I mean? And that wouldn't be a shocker to me because myself being someone who is in the beauty industry and also someone who started a business a little over 15 years ago where I've had so many people copy things from my website and copy things that I've done in my business, even former employees and things like that. It's unfortunate, but it is something that happens. So I know where Stormi was coming from when she spoke about that, when she was having a conversation with her husband.
But Tisha launched a website, a business for her daughters, his hair care. And she copied and pasted Canvas Beauty shipping policy and left contact.
She improved that already?
No, and she left contact. Like, if you need help or someone with your orders, like, email Canvas Beauty. It was a big deal. It made its way to social media. Like, people were, like, calling her out. It was spreading around then, like wildfire. People were running with their narratives. You know, people don't really like me on the internet. So they was like, oh, this is how Stormi selling her products. And I'm like, here. So
she did it on her own, or she didn't get nobody to help her?
I don't think she did her own website, but to me the problem is, like, you should have proofread. I low-key, like, I feel like embarrassed for her about it. And then I feel like it's super embarrassing when your husband is like, oh, I won't take your advice from Stormi, like I'm going to invite her to the expo, but y'all copying my website. That's not good, Marsau. You know?
She could have just called you and asked you about you know what I'm saying?
Because I want to help with anything.
Yeah.
I love doing stuff like that. Some stuff, like, don't try to rely on everybody in the beginning to do it. Like, do it yourself.
Yeah.
Because you remember, I built Canvas website myself when we started. So if you know how to do it, you know how to make changes. That was on that website for longer than it should have been. And she had to develop the website herself, or at least had a basic understanding of the back end. She could have went in there and changed it the moment she found out. I do want to speak with Tisha, not from a standpoint of being upset about it, but more so of a standpoint of how did that happen. She's actually not the first person who's copied something off my website. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but I'm kind of used to it. The Scotts, they're doing a celebration. It's like a barbecue for Kimmy's. She's doing radiation, so I'm pretty sure, like, Tisha will be there, and I'll talk to her. I like the celebratory times.
Yeah.
I don't like, I've only had one business meeting with them. I'm straight on that. I don't like that, but, like, when we celebrate, it's good.
So, yeah, I wanted to play that part real quick when Stormi was speaking to her husband about Latisha. Obviously, like I said, maybe not herself specifically, but having it copied. And I agree with Stormi because when I started my business years ago, my first website, I created it myself. And I remember, I'm not even going to go into that story, but I'm just going to say I built my first website myself. And there was a colleague at the time and she got pissed off because I created my own business website and then I didn't do one for her business. And it's like, girl, what? First of all, we're not business partners. You have your own separate business. I have my own. Why? I'm doing what I'm doing for my business. Why do you think I have time to create a website for you? But anyway, I just remembered about that as I was speaking. So honestly, that was just like a a thought that came up in my mind as a reminder. But she's right. Because Stormi said that information, first of all, it shouldn't have been on her website, but it was on the website far too long for it to be up there. If she had a basic understanding, even if she didn't create the website herself, like for my current websites, I didn't create my current websites myself, but I have all of the login information. I am the admin of my pages, and I may not understand all of the coding and all of the different themes and the plugins and all of those different things like that. I know how to change some things, and I definitely know how to log in. So when I saw the scene with Tisha speaking to Marsau about it and pretty much trying to blame the web designer for it, I said, girl, don't try it, because that's some BS. The only people who are going to believe you are the diehard Scott's fans, or the people who just hate Melody, because again, like I said, and I'll say this again, not that it even matters because people are going to think what they want to think. I am not a millimeter. I definitely admire her business ethic and work acumen, and also her story of survival, being in a relationship with a dangerous narcissist and psychopath, in my personal opinion, and being able to just blow up and elevate in spite of what some people tried to make her seem like as damaged goods with 4 children. And she's doing amazing things in her career. So I admire that. But I do see that there are a lot of people who just don't like Melody, and they think that this woman is out here to try to destroy Tisha's marriage. Or even if they don't think she's trying to destroy their marriage, they're pissed off that people like Kiki are having conversations with her about Marsau's supposed infidelity and Tisha just being non-caring to the situation, or wanting to shoot the messenger, if you will, because that's basically what Tisha has been doing, right? But to be honest with you, I really could care less. If Mel wants to be petty, I don't have a problem with it. I really don't care. So that's what I'm going to say about it. Even if she is being petty, who the freak cares? Because Tisha has been petty with her when she was going through some real life stuff. And to be honest with you, I don't even see it as Mel being petty. But I'm just saying, if she is being petty, who cares? Her being petty is not destroying Tisha and Marsau's relationship and marriage. Stay in it. Live in it. Dwell in it. Wallow in it. Scream from the mountaintop that you're sticking by him no matter what, and no matter who comes or goes or who says what. We really don't care that much, but it's just the fact that Tisha thinks that people really care that much about her marriage, that they're really trying to break her and her what she thinks is amazing husband up. We just feel that it's like you all are trying to, well, at least Tisha is trying to portray a marriage that is not this beacon of light, that anyone should see that as the guide towards what a marriage should be. Is actually something that is a deterrent. And those who aren't married, they would be like, well, what the hell do I want to get in a marriage for if that's what it's going to be like? And especially with a cretin like Marsau, right? So anyway, when she was having this discussion with Marsau, she tried to just, if you fall for it, or if you don't really know a whole lot of the deep details, you might have her play on your sympathies and she just looks like this victim. But I'm going to be honest, when they were having this conversation, I felt like it was a cop-out, and I felt like they were trying to play the victims. Yeah, I know there might be some people who are out there that might be going the extra mile when it comes to some of these people on this show, when it comes to information that they pull up, or things that they may follow, or how deep they may go into certain things that they know about some of these people. That could be true. But I just don't believe that this Bet on Black event, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I'm just basing it off of the episode and what I've seen. I feel like they're using this as a cop-out to pull back from doing the event, because it probably wasn't going to garner much attention or get what they were hoping to get out of it anyway. So they use that as an excuse, and they're trying to blame people for trying to destroy their event. So I'm going to play this clip because I was like, I just don't buy it.
You know, you get them days.
Yes.
That was just full of extra steps. Apparently, somebody called in the city of Huntsville and they're talking about that we're illegally gambling over here. But I don't even want that kind of stuff in my business. I don't ever want my company to have been associated with someone investigating for illegal activity. You know?
It's so sad that you have people that is calling the city on you when the only thing you're doing is running a business, trying to improve the community and make this community a better place. And the benefit is to give away homes.
I don't know. I just feel like canceling it all together and just moving differently.
Us canceling the Bet on Black event is, really upsetting for me. We've been putting work into trying to just really do things and really find out ways to improve our community. And when you have people that's coming against you for God knows whatever reason, it's kind of heartbreaking.
But it's just frustrating when you have the vocal minority talking so much against the people that are actually doing it. It's discouraging sometimes.
It seems like it's always something. Like, that Maciandmila's website has something about Candace Beauty on it. So I instantly contacted the web designer and asked him, what is this?
Didn't the same web designer design her thing?
I don't know if he designed her website or not, but I know he's in the industry, and that's why we chose to use him for Maciandmila.
Probably a template, and that's something we should have caught.
But my thing is, I paid you a lot of money for this website, so...
But y'all took care of it, right?
Yeah, he took care of it instantly.
Hey, mistakes happen. Remember, just think about Bet on Black. People are not just looking for the surface.
Yeah, they're looking for stuff. Right.
They're combing through it to see what's going on. If that wasn't there, they'd have just been like, get them next time.
I'm getting emails. I'm getting phone calls. I'm just tired.
I'm with you. The customers didn't catch that.
Yeah.
It was probably just some hater.
It absolutely was a hater.
Like,
I don't even understand why I get so much hate. I'm like, I do so much for people. I don't talk about people. I don't try to do people wrong. I just don't understand why I receive so much hate. It's just really irritating.
It's irritating. It's irritating. I don't want to miss it, maybe.
I know, me either. That's why I don't want to cry. Nobody knows the designer. Everybody knows the owner of the brand. Yeah, it's for my kids, and it's the daughter's picture in their face, but me being their mom behind this, pushing them, is causing everyone to come at me. And at the end of the day, I'm like, it was a mistake. I reached out to the designer. He corrected the mistake. I think sometimes people just look for an issue to have with me, no matter what. It's just been a rough week for me, for real. It's a lot. It's a lot when you have, no matter how strong you are, and I do feel like at the end of the day, I am strong, but I do get tired. I get tired. You have people trying to interfere with your marriage, people trying to interfere with your business, people trying to interfere with you as a person. It's a lot. It's a lot.
No, I got tired with the stuff, and you helped me through that. I'm just trying to return the favor.
Thank you.
If you keep your head up, you're going to be fine.
I'm happy we're a team and we have each other.
Yeah. Let's get out of here, man.
Why would you do that?
Listen up, guys. Like I said, if you don't know the backstory and you don't know a lot of things and you haven't seen the show over the past several seasons and you have a big heart, you might have fallen for the couple of tears that were shed and the woe is me speaking of why do I get all of this hate? All I do is good to people and whatever, but I don't agree with that. And I don't like to see anybody cry. I really don't. But I was just like, girl, Tisha, you have to take some accountability for your own actions. And I also just don't believe that Bet on Black event that they were going to have, that they just canceled because they said some hater. I think what they were trying to insinuate was someone who was a Melody fan called to report them to say that they were doing illegal gambling, because they could have done something different if they wanted to contribute to the community or if they wanted to raise money to help build homes for the community. But even that is kind of hard to believe because they still haven't built their own home yet, right? I just don't buy it. In my personal opinion, it felt like some sort of money grab because they were saying, you know, a portion of the funds contributed would go towards that. It didn't say all. It didn't say 50%, 75%. It just said a portion. A lot of times when you see charitable things like that and they say a portion of, it's usually a cash grab because as long as they can show that they sent 2%, you know what I mean? Or put 2% aside, 1% aside to what they say the cause was, then it can be said that it was definitely a charitable event or a charity, or they can use it to write off on their taxes or as, you know, under their 501c3 or however they have it categorized. I just don't believe that. And that's why I feel like they decided to call it off, because it was not just, you know, someone calling and reporting them for having illegal gambling, but it was some other things that they didn't want to uncover. And also it may not have been getting the traction that they were hoping for. I think it's a culmination of those things. In my personal opinion, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section, or if you have more information about this than I do, because I know there are a lot of people who have a whole lot more information on these events and situations and things that have happened than I do. Feel free to share it with me, because I don't know all of it, because one, I just don't have a lot of time to follow a lot of these people with these things. I just kind of share things as I have time. And I just wanted to talk about that because it bothered me, because to see her sitting there acting like the victim and also blaming the web designer for copying Stormi's shipping policy. Like, it was pretty much the entirety of it was copied. And then Marsau to be so flippant about it. And we're just like, well, you know, you're going to have the haters and they're just going to search everything out with a fine-tooth comb to try to find that one thing. No. And then Stormi admitted that she said that was up on that website way too long for it to have been up there even at all. And then Tisha turned around and said, well, I contacted the web designer and it got taken down immediately. It got corrected immediately. So obviously that wasn't true. So again, she's lying about that. And two, web designers, they may have templates, but they don't copy content. The content is what you have to give them. You give them that information. So Tisha, I'm sorry. That's not true. I have a multitude of websites and I've had a lot of creation that has been done over the years. They may help me pick out the design template. They may help me to pick out the theme and the colors sometimes not. Sometimes, more often than not, that is on me and I make those decisions. But when it comes to the filler, when it comes to the content, not the layout, the content, that's not copy and paste. That's not standard. Because when you buy website themes, the wording in there, it is a lot of usually foreign words. If you're familiar with having websites built, the filler words that are in there, sometimes it's foreign words or it's just some really standard stuff. It's not going to say Canvas email contact@canvasbeautybrand.com. So that clearly was on her. But to try to shift the blame to the web designer, see, this is why people can't feel sorry for her. This is why people don't really give them much sympathy and grace when it comes to a lot, because they don't take self-accountability and they're just trying to make it seem like they just have all of these haters out there that just want to take them down. To be honest with you, they don't really have much that most people want. Really. They have this land that they were apparently going to build Scott Manor on that they've been talking about for years. It's looking like Neverland 2.0 at this point. You know what I mean? How long did it take Sheree to build that estate, that chateau? Anyway, this is looking like Neverland 2.0. And you've got this terrible marriage that she wants to make it seem like is this beacon of light and beacon of hope. And she is the poster child for being in a marriage for a long time and put some respect on her marriage because she's been married for a long time. Who the freak cares if you've been married for a long time, if it's miserable and your husband just allowed you to crawl up from under a rock a few years ago and now you're out here dressing in skimpy clothing, wearing hoochie mama shorts and, and tank tops and getting your hair done every 3 days and wearing a lot of makeup, things that you never used to do before because now you're on TV and you want to showcase a different persona than what you actually are. I mean, do it, girl, but nobody is fiending and pining for that. They have nothing that anyone wants. So people are not out here trying to ruin them or destroy them because they're jealous. But I'm not here to say that I can't understand that it could be a heavy weight on her to be in the public eye. She's not a celebrity, but to be in the public eye, to be a personality on reality television and not be favored and not be liked. Nobody's on these shows and everyone likes them. Everyone is going to have that crowd of people, whether it's a few or many, that are not going to like them, because as many people that like Melody, there's clearly a number of people that don't like her either. But I'm just using that as an example. So I can understand that it does not feel good to feel like you have so many people that are coming at you or coming against you or whatever. But a lot of the antics that she has said and done over the past several seasons, as well as just people just get so infuriated by seeing this woman that stands up for this husband that is just a big goof that she wants to portray as the type of husband and type of marriage that most people should want to have when we don't. And then you want to get defensive if someone brings up something that may be a rumor, there may be truth in it, and it may be lies. Who really knows until some well-documented proof comes out? But it must be some truth to something, because the way they were bleeping those names out with the roof and the, and whatever else they were doing, I was like, oh my God, like, what is this right now? That was tripping me out. But I'm saying, and then I'll talk about that in a separate reality chat, but just how she was just ignoring Kiki and just acting like she wasn't there. It was just like, this is the type of stuff that really does not make people see it for her. Clearly don't feel sorry for her. I'm not wishing anything on her or, like she likes to say, trying to ruin or destroy her marriage, but you're not a victim. And you don't take accountability for your own actions, and to blame the web designer and to blame someone calling up the city and saying how they were going to be doing illegal gambling. And so they just decided to shut down the whole event and this and that. And the other. It's like, blame everyone else except yourself. You didn't want to really take the constructive criticism about the Black Business Expo, and you just had a nasty attitude sitting there, and, the weirdness with, I like Stormi, when Stormi was calling her husband a bitch. But then when Melody brings something up at the town hall, well, we're not talking about the past. We're not talking about what already happened. It's just like your attitude, girl, it's really funky. And a lot of people just can't get down with that. It makes it hard for people to feel any type of sympathy for her. It just is, it's crazy. But anyway, guys, I talked about this enough. You can believe what you want to believe, but she's lying when it comes to the web designer. The web designer, how ironic, out of all of the hair companies that have websites, how ironic is it that they copy Canvas Beauty Brand's content for their shipping policy and had it on their website? Like, are you kidding me? As well as someone else said, I didn't really clock it. I might go back and check it out and see what they're saying. But someone said that the products, they covered Canvas Beauty Brand labels with their own labels. If that's the truth, and then you couple that with the shipping policy being the same, it's like, girl, don't try to blame that on the web designer. Web designer didn't have anything to do with that. They don't write content. They fill in the content that you give them. Period. Now, I don't know every web designer in the world, but I know the ones that I've worked with, they don't create the content. You have to give them the content. And so, who knows? Maybe she found one that was just going to do basically everything, and she hired this person to create a hair care website with all of the information and go, and they just happen to find Canvas Beauty brand and copy their content and put it on hers. Hey, I guess anything is possible, but I just don't believe that. I don't. So anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section. What do you feel about Stormi and what she had to say with regards to the copying of her company's website content? And what do you feel about Tisha trying to blame the web designer for it, as well as, being the victim and saying that she doesn't know why she gets so much hate and no one really likes her and whatever? Like, do you feel sorry for her? Do you think that it's unwarranted, or do you feel that there are a lot of things that she has said and done that has caused a lot of the heat that she receives at this point in time? And what do you feel about them canceling the Bet on Black event? Were they ever really intentional about doing this, or do you feel that it just wasn't going to turn out the way they were hoping it would be, so they just decided to call it off and use that as an excuse, or maybe even lie to say that someone called the city to complain about them doing illegal gambling? Anything's possible with them, So guys, thank you guys so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I really appreciate it. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and I'm going to say bye.